Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nikhil Malankar and a lot of you guys know me for Mumbai Gullies, the game that has been under development for almost an eternity now. But what a lot of people know is my background in video games. Now I want to actually highlight the fact that I've been in this space for the last 12 years. Yeah, on 19th of April 2025, we completed 12 years of existence as Game. So what I want to really do is, talk a little bit about my journey in game development, how I started out, and what are the different types of games that I have developed so far. Each of these games carries a very special memory in my heart because for the majority of the time I actually worked on the code level of all of these games. So without any further ado, I will just get started. I'm gonna do a screen share and we are going to go through some of the interesting games that we've developed over the last few years. All right. The very first game that we published was this game called Kite Flying Game. It was purposely misspelled as KYTE. A lot of these games that I'm going to talk about now, you will not find them on Google Play Store because, I'm also going to get to that part, why that happened. But for now, just bear in mind that, most of these games might not be available. But for by any chance, if you are able to find these somewhere, go ahead and enjoy them. About this game, this was the very first game that I coded. It was made completely in Python. And in fact, if you are actually interested in getting access to the source code of this game, I've uploaded the source code on my personal website as well. So you can just go ahead on my website, nikhilmalankar.com, and this source code is actually available for free. Okay, so you don't have to pay anything for this. You can just have the source code and enjoy. Okay, so that being said, this was my first game. It was developed in Python. And after that, we went on creating a couple of more interesting games. In fact, we also made a game on kite flying again. This was a 2D kite flying game that you are seeing in front of you. We then created a game called Kites Mumbai, uh, which was also quite an interesting game actually. It had various different modes to it. So this was the art style of this game, Kites Mumbai. We had an interesting art team on it. Now keep in mind that this was 2012, 2013, 2014 timeline. So the graphics, the artwork, and all was very much like we were basically kids. I was 19 or 20 when I started my journey, right? So it was a fun time working on all of these aspects. We had some very interesting artists who created these artworks. We also had interesting game modes inside the game. We went all crazy. It had a split screen mode in it. You could do local multiplayer and whatnot. I think at the time it was not local multiplayer. It was more like playing against a bot. I remember coding the logic of this bot. Our player was this, and the other player would just find the nearest coin, and that would kind of complete the entire path. So the idea was for you to actually finish the game, finish collecting more number of coins than the opponent kite, which was super fun. I mean, we had a lot of fun developing this game. Both of these games were extremely successful at that time. I remember kite flying game. This one did about 100,000 plus downloads within a month's time of launch. And Kites Mumbai also got, I think, in its lifetime, decent number of downloads. It was more than a lakh again. Super interesting games, but we made no money out of these games, because back in the day, I had no idea on how to monetize through these games. Now, I'll come to the fact that why these games are actually not available anywhere as of now. In fact, you can find them at some places. If you just search for Game, I think most of these games are still there on Amazon App Store. So I think probably like you'll find a bunch of these games over here. Amazon App Store. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you can find these games on Amazon App Store. Okay. Now there are some very interesting and weird games that we made over the past few years. Okay, Box Cricket International 2014. Let's talk a little bit about this game. Okay, this game actually was a cricket game that we made. Now you can see, like, I'll have to turn my head around to see it like this. It had like crazy interesting artwork as well. As you can see, like, there were interesting caricatures of popular players. We fictionalized all of their names. That was super interesting. I remember working on the ranking logic as well of this. It was super, super duper amazing. These caricatures were done by a gentleman named Mr. Anand Marwadi. He's a great artist, fantastic artist. And at the time, I had a lot of fun working along with my friends. There were folks like, I remember, like, these are my friends, Prasad Kazarikar, Gaurav Tiwari, and a bunch of, like, we were basically kids assembling at my grandparents' place, and we used to, like, just have a lot of fun. But for this particular screen, I remember, like, I actually worked on NGUI. I don't know, like, how many of you guys today who are developers even know what NGUI is. It was this crazy interesting framework on top of which Unity actually built their entire UI framework. So this, I remember, like, animating each of these buttons, creating animation clips and all, was super duper fun. So this is a game that I'm really proud of working on. So you can check this out as well. Then what else? We worked on some very, very interesting, crazy concepts. Like, all of these games that you can see in front of you, these are in some or the other capacity made by me. Then there is Cricket T20 International. This was basically a very simple cricket book cricket game. We had a 3D book in it. We had created this 3D book, and you all you had to do was tap on this book. It would flip a page, and whatever number comes on that page becomes your score. It was a very, you know, what you can say, like a very simple book cricket game, just imagined in 3D. And then it had some different versions as well: quick play, multiplayer, leaderboard, and all. I remember back in the day, we had also created a fake online mode in it. We had just populated a bunch of random Indian names and then just given them out over here in this fake online mode. So that was super fun to do as well. In fact, one interesting story I can remember about this game, Cricket T20 International, was that this was, I don't know how, but it was featured on Google Play Store alongside some of the popular cricket games out there. So I remember we were featured alongside Games to Win. There were two of their games, and this was the popular cricket game in that category. So I don't know how that happened, but whatever happened felt amazing. So this simple idea of just a book cricket was somehow featured on Google Play's front page in the cricket category, which was very surprising for us. Uh, what else? We've got this kite I talked about. Football Cannon. Now, Football Cannon was a game that we had primarily made after the launch of Flappy Bird. So the idea was pretty much simple. It was like a Flappy Bird game. The only concept that changed was, instead of the bird, we had a cannon that throws a ball, and the objective is for you to adjust the angle of the cannon so that when your ball gets shot, it has to go through this pipe. Okay, and naturally, if, like, hit the next cannon to go ahead, you have one ball for each cannon. So it was a very simple, uh, Flappy Bird kind of game. uh, Again, super super duper simple gameplay, super duper simple graphics and all, nothing fancy. This was interesting. Then we made something called as Indian Football League 2015. This was built on top of an existing available source code. This was a football game, of course, naturally. What we had done was we had modified the artwork a little, and we had worked on, like, some local Indian teams. Okay, so it was called as the Indian Football League. This game was also pretty much popular. What else? What else? What else? Wow, looking at all of these games, it just brings in a lot of memories. Oh, I loved making this game, Road Trip Action. This was a simple side-scrolling racing game. It was actually inspired by this game called Extreme Road Trip 2. I remember back in the day with my friends, we used to play a lot of mobile games, and we thought we could make something cool like Extreme Road Trip. 2. So we wanted to have a little bit of a twist to it. So we came up with the idea of this game, Road Trip Action. We kept that name, Road Trip, and I remember we had actually called it as Extreme Road Trip Action. For this, we had actually officially received an email from the developers of the original Extreme Road Trip game that you have to change your name. And naturally, we listened to them and we changed the name and we kept it just as Road Trip Action. Uh, it's all about ASO. It's all about SEO, my friends. Keywords, all of that jazz. But yeah, like coding this game was super interesting. It was also like, this game had like these loops. So we also had to work on a looping logic. Like I remember these elements are actually two separate images. So the one of the images ends over here. Second image is like this. So it's like a loop, right? And how does a 2D environment recognize a loop? So it does not, right? Because it's there's no layers to it. So we actually worked out a logic wherein once the player crosses this particular threshold, then this element gets activated, and the moment it hits this area, that's when this loop gets deactivated and this gets activated in terms of the collision part of it. Again, like I really genuinely enjoyed working on this game. It was, and by the way, it was not just me. Like I had a bunch of my teammates and all. We had worked out on some very cool logic for this game. Not just this game, actually. Like it's a story of growing up, story of making mistakes, learning from them, and going through this entire journey. Agent Tap. This was also a very interesting and unique game. It was basically just a mindless tapper. Okay, we had like a bunch of these folks coming on the screen, going from left to right or right to left, and the objective is for you to tap on the robber so that you can catch the robber, and you shouldn't tap on the police. Okay, otherwise your game is over. So you had a target of tapping as many thieves as you can, and I think if I remember correctly, there was a timer or something. I don't know, like it's been a while now, but as you can see, like at the end screen, you get a summary of how many robbers you killed and how many cash you collected. So there was this crazy, interesting calculation and all. So this game, I would say, I contributed about 40% of code to it. Majority of the coding was done by this gentleman called Mr. Gaurav Tiwari. So he was one of our programmers back then, and he handled most of the logic, which also brings me to a very interesting game called Memtrix. Now, Memtrix, the logo, if you see it, it kind of resembles like the Microsoft logo. That is the intention that we went with. We actually wanted to make this as an exclusive for the Nokia games, Nokia phone, and that's the reason why we kept that purposely like this. And in fact, if I remember correctly, this was actually one of our early games that we also deployed onto the Nokia phone platform. It was a very simple game. The idea was that we have this collection of these cubes, and there's a pattern that gets displayed. You see this red one. So there's a pattern that shines on the screen. Like this will shine as red. Then this will be red. 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 So you have to actually memorize that pattern, and you have to tap on those tiles in that particular order. Otherwise, you lose your level. So we had created some very interesting levels on this. The first few levels were super simple, and then eventually it became difficult and difficult. What else? Oh, and then we also made something known as Special Ops. Actually, you know what? There are so many games that I've worked on. I will actually make a part two of this, but I want to end the part one on this particular game because this game, actually, over here, right over here, this was our very first game made in Unreal Engine for the mobile platform. We had also launched this. I think this was probably the first mobile game made in Unreal Engine that was also deployed onto the Apple App Store. We had spent enormous amount of time in optimizing this game. This game in total took about 9 months of effort from our end. It had so many interesting things. It had total of 10 levels, as you can see over here in this blurry pixelated image. 10 levels we had created, and we had also roped in an artist who performed for MTV. His name was Rob Spaz. So he had contributed to the music of this game, and we had used his music at the last level. I remember, and the entire programming, by the way, of this game, Special Ops, was made completely by me. And this is my partner at the time, Prasad, who had handled all the artwork. Again, Anand contributed to the user interface. Anand Marwadi, whom I mentioned earlier, he also did a little bit of these, posters for the game. So yeah, I mean, we've makes me feel very old now that I've been in this space for such a long time. Stunning visuals. I mean, we went all crazy with this game. Like it was basically a rail shooter of sorts. Like you started off from one point and went to the other, and between there were waves of enemies. And it was an absolute joyride as well as a nightmare to work on this game, because we had to deal with so many optimization problems. We had to deal with getting the game down on mobile platform, and these are the days of Unreal Engine 4, when the engine itself was also not free. So I remember we paid a subscription fee at the time to make these games as well. So I think that's about it. I can end this as a part one of all the games that I've worked on so far. I do have a part two coming up as well. I just realized while making this video that this video will become super long. So I just want to keep this optimal. But there are tons of other games that I've worked on as well. So I'll make sure that I'll put out that video very soon. With that in mind, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button and press the share button if you want to share this journey of mine and share all these amazing games. I'll try to find links to all these games wherever I could scout them from. But if I don't, I just don't. It's been a long time, and I will explain in some other video what actually happened to all of these games. But with that in mind, that's it for this video. Thanks a lot for being with me till the very end. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take care.